News at 6, working for you.
It's an agonizing decision, I know Doug would say, from the perspective of delivering for our fans and all the work that's gone into this, but it was a pretty easy decision based on the data.
For the first time in history, the Indianapolis 500 will run without fans. The decision announced today, and it's all because of COVID-19. The latest remarks from the people who run the track in moments.
Let's make sure that Hoosiers have a place to live, that they have access to these services, and they're healthy and safe in their own homes.
Many people are struggling to pay their energy bills as we stay at home more during the pandemic. Why some want the state to step in.
A staff member at Avon High School has tested positive for COVID-19, and this person has been in the school building. What some parents and teachers want to see the district do to keep everyone safe.
Thank you for joining us here on the News at 6. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. First tonight, a huge news in Indiana and across the world of motorsports. The Indianapolis 500 will be held without fans in attendance on August 23rd due to escalating concerns over the coronavirus pandemic in Marion County. That's according to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It will mark the first time in the 109-year history of the race that it will be run in front of empty stands at the 2.5-mile oval track. You may recall in late March, IMS leaders rescheduled the Indianapolis 500 from May 24th to August 23rd. In late June, officials said attendance would be limited to no more than 50%. Then in late July, down to 25% fan capacity, with every fan wearing a mask or face covering. IndyCar and IMS owner Roger Penske previously said he wouldn't run the race without fans, but the realities of the pandemic forced a drastic change in plans.
For a couple weeks, hoped that the measures that the mayor has put into place, masks and all the other things, would get it turned around and get us to the place where we could go forward. We just ran out of time. You know, the teams are going to be out on that track about a week from now, right. And it's not like you set this up in a day. So we just had to make the decision.
Again, the Indianapolis 500 will be held without fans this year. That's the big headline today. But the race is still happening Sunday, August 23rd, and it will be broadcast live in central Indiana. Here's what else you need to know. All on-track activity during the month of August, including practice and qualifications, will be closed to the general public as well. If you still have tickets to this year's Indy 500, you will be credited for the 2021 race and will retain your seniority and your originally assigned seats. Hundreds of thousands of fans attend the Indianapolis 500 every year. It has become a tradition for generations of families and friends. So now that no one is able to attend the race for the first time in history, Troy Washington got a feeling for what fans think of IMS's decision.
Leslie Shue says true fans of the Indy 500 keep cheering no matter what changes may come.
When they had the race a couple weeks ago, we drove by and all the people were on the outside hanging on the fence looking in. You know, because people who love the race love the race.
She says even though fans won't pack the stands this year, she hopes they'll stay close to all of the action.
I feel for Speedway because, oh my gosh, you know, these businesses, which are great businesses, but without the race, I can't imagine what's happening to them financially.
Business owners are hoping that fans will still come out to Main Street even though the race is now fanless.
We'll be here. We'll be open.
I still think we'll be busy because people want to hear the cars and just be around the race.
With cases of the coronavirus on the rise in Marion County, Dawson's On Main owner Chris Hill says he understands the reason behind the concern over allowing fans inside to watch. But he still hates the thought of missing out on making new Indy 500 memories.
We've become friends with a lot of people that make the pilgrimage to the Indy 500. We get them from all over the world.
And he's sure those friendships will survive this race here, but he can't wait for things to return to normal next year. Working for you in Speedway, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Well, earlier today, the town of Speedway put out a statement encouraging people to show support to local businesses who may be impacted by the change. Check out that full statement when you read this story on the IndyChannel.com or on the RTV6 app.
COVID-19 has left thousands of Hoosiers without a job, and that's not the only reason why many people are struggling financially. One of the issues is energy bills are going up as people spend more time at home. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows us the fear many people have of what could happen next if the state does not step in.
A lot of people have said this pandemic has put a mirror up in our face about sort of the shortcomings of society today.
Experts say if there's one thing we've learned through COVID-19,
this really shines a light on the fact that folks do struggle to pay their bills even before the pandemic.
those who struggled before this pandemic are likely struggling even more so now, as many have lost jobs because of COVID-19, but the bills haven't stopped coming in.
It's a nightmare. The best I can say is it is a complete nightmare.
Forcing people into their homes for weeks on end, bills have skyrocketed.
Folks are working at home. Folks are going to school at home. Residential usage is up, especially with respect to electricity use.
People like Crystal Gibson, who is not working right now, but has 4 children, 2 of which are in school.
I'm always going around trying to keep lights off, but the TV's going more. The Chromebooks.
To help, Governor Holcomb issued an emergency moratorium to halt disconnecting utilities.
I mean, it would have already been on.
But that is set to expire August 14th.
There's tens of thousands of Hoosiers right now sort of at risk of losing service should that moratorium be lifted.
Kerwin Olson with the consumer advocacy group Citizens Action Coalition says he plans on requesting the governor to extend that moratorium once more, seeing as though people are still being plagued by the coronavirus.
That's the one thing we can do to ensure that Hoosiers are healthy and safe in their homes. We can sort out the other problems with other discussions, but first, let's protect Hoosiers.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And we want to let you know, though, there are groups that can help you with paying your bills. You can call 211 to be connected to some. There's also the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Programs, the Salvation Army, and more.
I think from talking to other parents, we're all a little, we're anxious.
Parents in Avon are being notified after a second staff member at the high school has tested positive for COVID-19. Unlike the first case, this employee was inside the building and may have had close contact with some students. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum is working to find out what some parents and teachers want to see the district do to keep students and staff safe.
Parents in Avon tell us they got an automated phone call last night telling them that a staff member had tested positive for COVID-19. Now they're left with unanswered questions about what's being done to keep people safe.
An employee has a confirmed case of COVID-19.
This is part of that phone call. A parent who asked not to be identified shared it with us today.
I think from talking to other parents, we're all a little, we're anxious. It's not a good feeling right now.
According to the call, those who came in close contact with the employee were notified separately and given guidance from the health department on their next steps. District leaders declined an interview and would not confirm what type of position that employee had for privacy reasons.
It scares me every day for our staff and for our students to be put in this situation.
Susie Lebo is the president of the Avon Federation of Teachers. She fears more students and staff members will test positive in the coming days and weeks.
We have English and world language classes that are at least 30 kids, so we are sitting elbow to elbow as if it's business as usual. And we are armed with masks and some kitchen cleaner and some hand sanitizer, and that is it.
She says there isn't any clear guidance from the district or the health department on what additional steps are being taken to keep the community safe or when a full shutdown of the schools would happen.
One of our major concerns is that we don't know how many people need to test positive before it's too many and we decide to do either a temporary shutdown or a full-fledged shutdown. We just don't know.
They're guinea pigs. We're all guinea pigs right now, but why would we put our children in that position?
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Well, we also reached out to the Hendricks County Health Department this morning to learn more about their response to this case and how they are working with the school district, but we have not yet heard back. Join us Thursday night for an RTV6 special, taking a look at how Hoosier kids are heading safely back to school. We're taking a look at remote learning, how lawmakers are working to keep schools accountable, and what you can expect if your child is returning to the classroom. That's Thursday, this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. right here on RTV6.
The mother of this Indiana University football player who is battling COVID-19 wants everyone to realize the importance of wearing a mask and practicing social distancing. Brady Feeney is a freshman offensive lineman for the Hoosiers from St. Louis. His mother, Debbie Rucker, took to Facebook Monday with a plea. Take COVID-19 seriously, wear a mask, and exercise social distancing. With her son's permission, Rucker shared his story. In part, she says, quote, "My son was negative when he got tested at the beginning of volunteer workouts. Within 3 weeks, he and multiple others tested positive. His university has done everything right by shutting down workouts and retesting the whole team. Unfortunately, this virus hit my son very hard compared to most of his teammates. Here was a kid in perfect health, great physical condition, and due to the virus, ended up going to the ER because of breathing issues. After 14 days of hell battling the horrible virus, his school did additional testing on all those that were positive. My son even received extra tests because he was one of the worst cases. Now we are dealing with possible heart issues," end quote. And Rucker went on to say she hopes her son Brady Feeney can recover from the virus and lead a healthy, normal life. And she added a plea for everyone to wear a mask.
An increase in the number of new COVID-19 cases and deaths, but the number of people tested also went up. The Indiana State Department of Health reports 836 new COVID-19 cases between Wednesday of last week and yesterday. That's 254 more new cases than the state reported yesterday. The Department of Health says 9,567 more people have recently been tested for coronavirus. That's an increase of more than 3,000 from yesterday. Since March, more than 785,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus. 8.8% of them tested positive for COVID-19. The state also reports 14 new coronavirus deaths between Wednesday of last week and yesterday. So far, 2,794 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. New data from the state also shows 37% of Indiana's ICU beds are available. COVID-19 patients are using 17% of the ICU beds, and non-COVID-19 patients are using about 45% of them. Nearly 83% of the state's ventilators are now available.
A historic building in Marion County is being moved and it's getting new life. We'll show you what it's becoming and where. Dave.
Tough news for fans of the Indianapolis 500 today. What about fans of high school football? Week 1 is before the 500. How they're handling their business at Pike High School. Coming up live at Sports.
And Dave, what a day for a workout. Temperatures in the 70s, a nice breeze, and the humidity is so low. These temperatures will drop from the 70s now into the 50s by late tonight. Where we'll be in the morning, close to record cool temperatures coming up.
Since July 1st, it's been illegal in Indiana to use your cell phone behind the wheel while holding it. And today we are getting a better idea on how enforcement of this new law is going. Indiana State Police says that in the month of July, troopers issued 13 citations and 191 warnings to people who were holding and using their cell phones while driving. Again, these are just the numbers from State Police. The agency has said they plan on educating people in the coming months as they get used to this new law. Troopers will likely start writing more tickets later this year. You are allowed to use cell phones with things like Bluetooth, headsets, and dashboard mounts.
A building with a lot of history in Marion County is now being moved to serve a new purpose. The group Arts for Lawrence is in the process of moving a historic communications building decommissioned from Fort Benjamin Harrison to its permanent home on the Fort Bend Cultural Campus. The old communications building will become the Visual Arts Center at the Cultural Campus.
But we really wanted to save the building. It shows some history of Fort Harrison, which is part of the mission of the Cultural Campus, is to tell the history of Fort Bend through arts and cultural events and installations. So its new purpose will be as a visual arts center. We've got a whole new design for the inside, as it'll host a gallery. It'll have art classrooms, It'll sit on a brand new basement that will provide a ceramic studio and some storage in the basement. And upstairs, it will have a studio for a resident artist who will oversee the gallery hours.
Arts for Lawrence says the estimated completion date for the Fort Bend Cultural Campus is January of 2023. Kevin.
It's mesmerizing to watch them move an entire building like that, isn't it?
It's such an odd thought to think that that's what can be done.
Yep, pretty amazing. Great day at Fort Bend tomorrow, as well as the rest of the week. Temperatures will get a little warmer. Let's talk about our headlines for tonight. The clouds that you see out your window now will disappear tonight. Skies will go clear. The wind is relatively light and the air is dry. With the humidity low, that really gives us an opportunity to see these temperatures stretch out from morning low to afternoon high, and then in reverse to fall back off tonight. That'll set the stage for a very cool morning tomorrow. Lower 70s in most locations, 72 in Fishers and Greenfield. Edinburgh's a little warmer at 75. The real warm, humid air has been pushed south of the Ohio River. We've enjoyed a much different day than yesterday, thanks to the northwest wind that's been 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now you see them tonight, you won't. The cumulus clouds, these are fair weather clouds that fade away once we lose the afternoon heating. Just to show you where we should be this time of year, your average low is 65. The record low set in 1974, 51. We're predicting a 52-degree temperature. If you're that close, we might as well at least tie the record or rewrite the record books. We'll be that close in the morning. 49 up in Peru, 50 in Lafayette, 51 in Muncie. As you look at these temperatures, these are the coolest within the 7-day forecast, but we've got a couple more mornings that should stay in the 50s. Tomorrow, sunshine and clouds develop in the afternoon, just like today. I think there'll be fewer cumulus clouds around, but they'll be there. We take another step forward as far as temperatures climbing Thursday, and we're back in the 80s as we end the work week with sunshine on Friday. It's a north wind tomorrow, and we're on the mild side of high pressure the next 48 hours. Once that area of high pressure moves to the east coast, we'll get a southwest wind and we'll really see a boost in the temperatures through the rest of the week into the weekend. There are the temperatures tomorrow afternoon, again with fair weather clouds around. Thursday temperatures, steady climb. Again, we start in the 50s in the morning hours. High temperatures from north to south stay in the 70s, just barely though. If you're ready for the 80s to come back, they will. Temperatures Friday through early next week back into the middle to upper 80s. With the warmth, it will be very humid Sunday and Monday. The chance for thunderstorms increases as well late weekend into early next week. Amanda?
Thanks, Kevin. Going to ask for better weather when it comes to high school football practice.
The season is set to begin in just a few weeks. Sports Director Dave First is live tonight at Pike High School, one of the many schools taking measures to play safely in this era that we live in, Dave.
Yeah, can you believe it? High school football begins 2 weeks from this coming Friday. Well, I think we'll have coverage right here for you. Friday football frenzy. Pat Echeverria is the head coach here at Pike in his second season, and I know everybody's talking about precautions and protocols, and you guys have done some stuff differently this year. For instance, your team meetings are happening outside. Yeah. Even the film work is done by Zoom. So yep. You guys are keeping things pretty safe here.
Yeah, to me the key is, the more we can stay outside, the better. Our locker room is literally a storage room now. Walk in, grab it, and get out. So we're trying to stay outside as much as we can. Obviously, we're sanitizing, social distancing, wearing masks, and doing all that kind of stuff. Just to try to keep everybody as safe as we can.
But this can be done in a safe way.
I think being outside, if you look at the data, the outside is definitely a better place than being inside. So, I feel confident. And the thing is everybody has a choice right now. They can choose to play football. If they have people at home that are at risk or they're at risk, don't play this year.
Right.
So that's the thing. Football's more than just the game. And I think giving people the choice to participate is to me, hugely important.
Socially, some of these kids didn't have a spring semester. It was obviously cut short online and stuff. Just to have these kids back together, I would think that's just, it's got to feel good for them and for you as a coach as well.
It's everybody's talking about mental health, and obviously that's a concern, and you talk to the kids, and you could just feel a difference when we started to come out here. I felt different. Yeah. You could see their energy levels pick up. So I think everybody's just excited. It's a taste of normal in an abnormal time.
Something that's abnormal I walked out here. I'm like, wait a minute, is this a new football field? We've got video of this brand new field. The turf is spectacular.
Yep.
Let's hope that fans are going to be able to see this now.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's beautiful and it's a great surface and it's
it's different, right?
Yeah,
Explain that.
It's got a different infill to it. It's an infill that keeps the temperature regulated, similar to natural grass. And then we also have a shock pad underneath for head-to-ground contact to help with concussions a little bit.
Wow, literally into the 21st century football field.
It's pretty high-tech.
Take a look at some of the key dates for this football calendar. Again, Friday Football Frenzy practice actually began Monday. Pads here at Pike tonight. Week 1 comes up Friday, August 21st. Sectionals, it'll be here before you know it, Friday, October 23rd. And, of course, culminates with the state finals, Lucas Oil Stadium, Thanksgiving weekend, November 27th. And 28th. You guys have Zionsville, your old school, coming up in week 1. That's going to be a big game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously the first game of the year, and for me personally, it's always fun to go back and see the people that you know over there, and they got us last year, so I'm looking forward to having a good game on the 21st.
Have a great practice.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Back in the pads, and that's just to hear the pads popping and be very exciting to see. Pat Echeverry, the head coach here at Pike. Wrap things up. The News at 6 continues after this quick timeout.
Welcome back. It's time for the RTV6 photo of the day. Lydia Williams, one of our senior producers here at RTV6, took this picture of a tiger swallowtail butterfly sitting on a coneflower in her backyard on the northeast side. Nature is so beautiful and a good stress reliever as we all endure this pandemic together. We want to see your photo of the day. Email it to us at news@WRTV.com. Kevin.
That's extra special. Lydia not only took a picture of it, but she identified it.
I know.
I would not have.
She has some of the most beautiful flowers in her front yard. So.
And look what it attracts.
Love it.
Beautiful butterflies. Up, up, and away. Temperature 75 tomorrow. That's after the near record start. 87 for the afternoon temperature on Sunday, not tomorrow. 79.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll be back here for the news at 7. It's gorgeous out. Look at that.